patronnée par Annick Hérault, assisté de Samuel Chiroux et Olivier Lagrange. Mesdames, messieurs les arbitres de la rencontre, arbitre principal Sarah Cox, assisté de Joe Neguil et Dorian Demangeau. Est-ce que vous voulez toucher? Est-ce qu'on a toujours envie de faire C'était pas mal, je pense que vous avez réussi à faire sortir le Messie dans quelques secondes. Elle sera avec vous, elle sera avec nous ici. Au Stadium Lille Métropole pour cette troisième rencontre du week-end dans le cadre de Nicolas Destination. Après Lyon, après Lucas Nicolas, voici Lucas Semillon qui est proposé bien sûr à l'équipe Big Press. Attention à l'équipe de la Restauration. Est-ce que tu as un peu de l'ambiance au stade?
Well, having begun their campaign in the south of France, it's a move to the north for Annick Hérault's French side. Le Stadium Villeneuve d'Ascq in Lille Métropole, to be precise. Their visitors, Shade Munro's Scotland, a side who've not won in almost a year. It's round 3 of the Women's Six Nations, and after defeat at the hands of England a fortnight ago, there's every expectation that France will be looking to make a strong statement tonight. We've seen France regionalising these games over the last few years. They've certainly taken it to various pockets of the south and southwest, the true French rugby heartlands. Last time rugby was played at this ground, I'm told, was 2001 in the European Cup when Stade Francais took on Munster. But in truly travelling to the regions, well, they have brought the local crowds out, and the tricolours are waving in force as the two teams make their entrance onto the field. And there is even a resident brass band, who I'm sure we will be hearing from if Annick Hérault's side can get into their stride.
Coxey, it's Claire, can you hear me?
It's going to be a big challenge for the Scots this evening.
And you are very echoey.
The first challenge is laying down the gauntlet in terms of the anthems. The Marseillaise and Flower of Scotland as the weekend continues through the Six Nations.
musique de l'infanterie de l'arme militaire.
So 5 personnel changes for France since the loss to England, plus a couple of minor positional switches. Up front, Traoré switches from the bench to start in place of Henri Castres, while it's a similar story for Forlani in place of Corson. Diallo also starts at 7 in place of Ferrer, and in the backs, Emma Couder makes her championship debut at fly half, with Constantin given the nod for Boujard, who was a little out of sorts against England, and the wings have switched shirt numbers for this one. In terms of Scotland, well, it's 4 changes from their defeat to Ireland. Nicola Howard switches with Deborah McCormack, who drops to the bench, and it's a welcome return to Jade Conkle. Like captain Lisa Thompson, she used to play here in Lille before the move to Harlequin. Sarah Law is another change. It's her first start of this year's Six Nations campaign, as it is also for Rona Lloyd at 14.
And what else have you got me?
I've got you, Sarah.
Cool, thank you very much.
And on the benches, well, Touye is back in the mix with no Sochar. Local girl Rivo Allant will also hope to feature a little later. And for Scotland, Lucy Winter will hope to earn cap number 4 and feature in the Six Nations for the first time. Lisa Martin, another who plays her rugby in these parts. Well, Safi Ndiaye was very prominent in the team talk just before the match got underway. Gaël Hermé may be the skipper, but Ndiaye was the one who was laying down the law. Sarah Cox is our referee.
Yeah.
The familiar face of Joy Neville, one of those assisting on the sidelines this evening. France have won the last 8 meetings between the two sides,
Kick off again or scrum?
but they'll regret not making the perfect start. Kick doesn't go 10 metres. Early chance for Scotland to have a scrum. Sarah Law getting the communication to Jade Conkle. From hooker to number 8 and to scrum half, knowing what the call is. May might have claimed that, but she knew it hadn't gone the 10. Rachel McLaughlin down on the near side for Scotland. Turns 20 on Tuesday. Might be hoping someone will cook her pancakes. The brass band are already in full swing here. And the ball has eventually come out on the Scottish side, but Sarah Law had a lot of work to do with the scrum having gone 90 degrees against her if she was going to come back round that side. Scotland will reload to come back down the short side, and there is Conkle. Moved to Harlequins, having been playing for Lille Metropole. Kick over the top. It's not instantly handled by Dorian Constantin. Looks to try and get going, but is tackled well by Helen Nelson. Now Boujard, constant thorn in the side for Wales in round 1. Couldn't quite get France on as much front foot ball against England, and largely due to the effort of Simon Middleton's Red Roses in round 2, but France not quite clicking as they might have wished to in Castle Park in Doncaster. Bourdon back inside. Oh, and that's decent running from Traoré, managing to swat her way through the tackles and getting up at the halfway line. And then Bourdon feeds well. Then that's a nice take on the left wing. Away from Bourdon again. Through Couder.
Okay, leave it now, 8.
Penalty France. Jade Conkle was warned, and Bourdon's not going to hang around here. Throws it back in field. It couldn't be taken by Safi Ndiaye, and it's all a little bit scruffy as well from Gabrielle Vernier, but she'll get back to her feet. Another one of those who plays her rugby in these parts will be familiar with this stadium. Wonder what it is like for the likes of Chloe Rowley, Lisa Martin, who's on the bench, who call this stadium home. France keep it alive, though. Clara Joyeux up the middle, Bourdon off to the right again. Decent tackle from Scotland. Looking to try and play their way through here. Diallo presents the ball back. Little chip over the top.
Back.
He's gone backwards. France have managed to maintain it.
Okay, tackle.
They're not risking an awful lot with those little chips, but they've worked out for them twice. But then that's poor handling from Romain Ménager. And you don't get to say that too often.
Knock on. Knock on.
He's just already looking at that advancing Scottish defensive line. See the big tackle going in from Sarah Bonner. Moved across to 6 from 8 to make room for Jade Conkle. Playing at Loughborough Lightning. Former Lichfield player, of course, used to play with Emily Scarratt, the likes of Mo Hunt. Mo Hunt, who is going to be starting for England in tomorrow's game against Wales. And Emily Scarratt now, who is a teammate of Bonner's once again at Loughborough Lightning. Scrum is not steady.
You're moving. It must be stable. It must be stable before the ball comes in.
Already looks to be a bit of a scratch on the head of Megan Kennedy. Rangy frame of Koumba Diallo on the near side. Played 13 minutes against England. She's getting a start this week. Law. Scottish scrum under plenty of pressure. Can they get the ball out? It's not the tidiest, but France are going to get the penalty anyway. Strategy for Scotland has surely got to be to get that ball in and out and away before that pressure can come on through the experienced French 8. So experienced in the front row. They do have the likes of Clara Joyeux and Traoré, who've well, only got 15 caps between them.
Let's set them on you, okay?
But in terms of 1 and 3, it's exactly the same for Scotland with Coburn and Kennedy. Lana Skeldon, the more experienced operator in the number 2 shirt. But it's the French number 2, Caroline Thomas. Got a hat-trick in the opening round against Wales. And is she going to get her hands on the ball for the game's first try here? She is at the back of that rolling maul that is so difficult to defend. But Scotland have done pretty well there through Nicola Howard to bring it down. Ndiaye. Tackle again from Bonner. The wide out on the left. Murray is waiting right down on this near side. They come again. Ball is checked back inside. Juggling it around, but the referee has decided to call a stoppage because play was coming back towards Ménager, who appears to have taken a bit of an injury on the floor. And the brass band strike up again. They are frighteningly close to my commentary position. If I start joining in, you will excuse me, won't you? Cameramen to my left are having a jolly old jig.
Yeah, no worries. You've warned her already, did you say? Or me?
Ménager, key part of France's ability in the loose. Scored 3 tries so far in the competition herself. Got a brace against Wales, scored against England as well. Was on that World Rugby Player of the Year shortlist a couple of years ago. Names one Serge Betson as one of her heroes. Uncompromising sort of operator he was. A little ball over the little tackle over the top that
Okay. Ready?
put a boot quite near the
Wait.
face of Pauline Bourdon.
Just keep your eye on Mark. Hang on, hang on.
We'll restart with
2
France
seconds.
possession.
They're still soon. Hang on. Okay. Just making sure? Yeah? Okay, fine. Okay, we're going? Yes. We're going now. Okay. Okay. Turn back on. Crouch. Bind. Set.
In from Bourdon. France get a good squeeze on it. It's there with Ménager, who's trying to control it, but now it's out. Bourdon's going to have to play it. Does get the ball away for Coudert. Back in the French side from the sevens side. Diallo recycles 6 meters out. Ménager came speeding round behind her, giving her the late call. Then it's Constantin. Hannah Smith doing her best to hold on to her. France continuing to recycle. Plenty of defending for Scotland to do here. Bourdon again. Brilliant tackle from Lana Skeldon. It needed to be. Bourdon looking for that ball back inside to Traoré. They go again. Oh, it's not tidy from Ménager. Ball goes to the floor, but it went backwards. So they might still have another go. And they're going to go route one to begin with. Bourdon looks back at the offering of Thomas and Traoré, but then goes to the blind side, and is the try scored from Gabrielle Vernier. The centre gets over. Brilliant mischief from Bourdon. Looked to the left, where 2 front rowers were waiting, and then went to the right and puts Gabrielle Vernier in for her first score of the Six Nations. You could just have a look here. Bourdon is just having a little look to the left, getting her front row nicely lined up, and then she goes to the right. And Vernier, well, she's taken 3 Scottish defenders with her there. Great strength from the inside centre. Playing on her home turf, and she'll have loved that. Bourdon, goodness me, that was close. But 5-0 to France.
We're not scrumming, we're kicking off. No, we go. We go now, please, Captain.
Scotland to get us restarted then. Guy Alome gets the shout. Bourdon again. Scotland will be looking to try and put the pressure on here. That was a pass that Coumba Diallo didn't know she was receiving. And gets the knock on. So Scotland with some possession in a good area here. What can we see from them with ball in hand?
No advantage.
No advantage coming from the knock-on. So Scotland will get the benefit of the scrum. And as we've already seen in these early exchanges,
Thank you very much.
it's an area they're going to want to get the ball away from.
Thank you.
Diallo thought that was going behind her, didn't she? Well, up until this evening, Scotland hadn't been penalised at their scrum, but they've already conceded one. Actually won 95% of their own scrums in the 2019 Championship.
Bind. Set.
Sarah Law might have to work a little bit quicker to get this ball away. Look at the shove. Still in the front row, the ball. It's going to be another penalty to the home side. There was a sense of inevitability about it. Scottish front row just can't live with them. Couder.
Try to take the end of there for me. You need to drop one. You need to drop one.
In from Thomas, they go towards the back, and Bourdon gets it away swiftly to Couder, nicely through the hands from NDA, and then it's Vernier breaking again. Vernier's had a scintillating start to the game with the game's first try, but it's good pace from Chloe Rowley to get back there. Rowley beats her Lille teammate to the ball, but it's going to be a penalty to France. Support for Scotland wasn't there in number enough, and they concede the penalty. And Bourdon is quite happy to take the decision that they're going to opt for another catch and drive. It's so effective for them. Vernier, lovely awareness to thread the kick through. Chloe Rowley having a little look out the corner of her eye to see if there was any threat coming outside her. Did well initially, but support not there in time. Brought down by Ménager, then passed on to NDA, and then Bourdon is at the back, driving it on. It's brought down, whether legally or not. Referee says not. Vernier on that crash ball again. Now they're going to look for the crossfield kick. Is this going to work out? Well, the nature of the bouncing over ball is that it's coming backwards, and referee Sarah Cox says we're going back for the penalty, unsurprisingly.
7, straight to the floor. Come. Crouch. Bind. You must stay strong for me. Okay, stay strong. Yep. Stay strong. Okay. Wait until the ball comes in, please.
So affirmative conversation having to go on here. And I think a bit of attention for Megan Kennedy.
All right. All sorted? You're done?
Megan
Yeah?
Kennedy,
Okay.
one of the 8
Turn back on.
Scotland-supported 2021 players, 7 of them in the starting 15. Lisa Martin on the bench is the 8th.
Crouch.
Made her debut in the last Six Nations.
Bind.
Made her strong stuff. She's got to try and live with the threat as France look to go down the short side. Bourdon's going to get in, and France make it look that easy. Where was Scotland in the corner?
Do you want to do it behind? Do you want to do it behind here?
Get a sense that while the Scottish 8 were concerned about wanting to try and achieve parity in the scrum, the French decided, typically through Bourdon, that while they're looking that way, they'll look the other. Nicely done. And Jasson was lurking on the outside, and it just forced Annabelle Sargent to take Ménager. Jade Conkle was too slow in getting off the back of the scrum. Try number 2 for France. Not quite as close from Bourdon on that occasion. Hermé comes forward to claim it again.
Wait.
Bourdon for Couder. Scottish defensive line rushes up. They've done their best to try and get hold of Clara Joyeux there. Going lateral more than they are forward there as Diallo just comes through and takes McLaughlin away from that ruck. Bourdon. Safe enough touch finder. Sargent threatening the quick one. Took up rugby at university. Annabelle Sargent plays at Heriots. She had been away in New Zealand taking a break from rugby, but returned last year off the bench against Italy and Canada. This is her 4th straight start now. Scotland keep the line out simple. Kick over the top from Nelson. Sends Constantin back. Looks for Ian Jasson on her outside. Jasson just manages to step out of the first tackle. But the assistant on the far side has raised a question over the pass from Constantin. And in fact, it was forwards. Difficult to tell from our angle, but Joy Neville on the far side, I think it is, who has called that one forwards. Let's have another look.
Of course, can, yeah. Yeah, no problem. I'll come this way.
Well, there can't have been an awful lot in it, and to be fair, Joy Neville wasn't in line with it, but we will give it the benefit of the doubt. Scotland barely with their hands on the ball in, well, what, nearly the opening quarter, just 26% so far. Fresh 22-year-old face of Megan Kennedy. From a sporty family, her dad's a former rugby player. Mum plays a bit of hockey and volleyball. Scotland do manage to keep that one, though. Back through Jade Conkle and then Hannah Smith. But Jasson is putting on all sorts of pressure on the loose ball. Helen Nelson clears it up. Another one of those who plays her rugby in France. Nelson with Montpellier. A few of her teammates on the opposition as well. Now it's shipped on from Thompson, the skipper. The ball's gone forwards from Scotland. And where will Bourdon think is worth attacking? They'll come back down to the near side to begin with, through Ménager, onto Hermé. Bourdon again. NDA just stumbled and slipped to the floor where Hannah Smith was waiting to hold on to her. And then back in field we come for Maëlys Traoré. Stade Toulousain player where she won the top 8 a few years ago. It's a little kick over the top to send Jasson into space, and one-on-one, give her the chance to take Scotland on. Got past the first challenge. Sargent was hoping to try and drag them into touch there, but France have kept it alive.
Oh, sorry.
Apology from the referee who gets in the way. Bourdon goes for another chip over the top to ask some questions of Chloe Rowley, but it's gone straight out.
Double. It was touched in the air when she went to touch.
It was touched by Scotland. Annabelle Sargent just got a hand to it, the Darlington Moden Park Sharks winger. Solid work from Sargent. France constantly looking for that little chip over to their wingers as they find NDA. One of the poster girls for French rugby. Diallo had to reach to get that, but just about brought it in. French back row combining well. Since they were able to move NDA into that second row as well, it just gives them more threats in terms of carries. They carried their way into touch here. Ménager. tiptoes her way back in field. Sargent's having to do an awful lot of defensive work down that side. There she is again, making the tackle on Diallo.
Just here, just here.
Got the Peter Gunn theme now, for anyone wondering. Sarah Bonner brings it down. Scotland look to try and break with Lisa Coburn with the bit between her teeth. So I think it's about time to try and carry it into the French defence. And then Bonner looks to do the same.
Roll first. You were okay.
France are penalised.
It's your 8, she must roll.
Thompson to clear it. Try and give Scotland some free yards down that far side. Which they do, up towards the 10-metre line. Menage going perhaps a little high with the shoulder into that tackle. Got to be careful these days about that sort of positioning. Scotland look to try and get it away quickly, but look how fast Audrey Fulani was through to put the pressure on Sarah Law. So Nelson has to go in and play scrum half. Then Law is back now and able to play it away. And that's a brilliant bit of work. Getting through is Conkle. That's what they've missed, Scotland, without her around. Scotland look to try and keep it alive. Vernier showing she's just as valuable in defence as she is in attack. Coburn accepted the challenge of NDA, but then got going. Kumba Diallo has gone very high there.
High tackle. Okay, okay. You've got the penalty. Let's
She's
go.
not leaving it there either, is she?
High.
It was safe enough from Scotland in terms of those few phases they put together.
Are we? What are we doing? What are we doing? You want to go? Okay, there you go.
Rachel McLaughlin
Guys,
put on the
time's
funfair
not
for a
off.
moment and swung around. That was the
Time's
break
not
from
off.
Conkle.
Time
She
is
is
not off.
one of the classier players in the side. 30th start this evening, coming back from injury. Was the first professional with Scotland.
Damien, please wait until I put time off, okay?
Sarah Law's getting taped up on the sidelines. They're going to need her in a moment. Scotland line out.
Right, 2 seconds. Right, you're doing, time is off now. Time is off.
Referee's called time off for a moment. So got a bit more walking repairs to do.
Now time is off.
I'd say running repairs, but
Yeah.
we're not quite there. Conkle now getting some attention. And the band continue to play.
I'll come back, okay?
If you've got any requests,
Okay.
at Nick Heath Sport on Twitter, I'll pass them on. We're going to have a right old
Right,
party.
okay. Don't touch people after everything's gone, okay?
They're going up and down the aisles here.
Not enough time, so we can play or not? She's in the...
There we are.
She's in, yeah.
10 points to nil. France with the lead.
Okay.
2 tries. Opened the scoring through Gabrielle Vernier. Pauline Bourdon with the second.
Right, here.
That's how much defending Scotland have had to do. 73
Turn back on.
tackles. 3 times as many, pretty much, as France have had to make. Scotland go to the middle. Diallo was putting the pressure on, but McLaughlin is there to be able to tidy up. And Scotland's forwards get over it to secure possession. Lisa Thompson then at full tilt onto it. Comes again through Nelson and then Smith. And that was nice running and footwork from Hannah Smith. It's gone backwards from Scotland. Tidying up, job needed from Sarah Bonner. And then Law, Skeldon, looking to be the bowling ball at the feet of France. Then again through Nelson. Wasn't easy and, well, attempted quick bit of thinking from Lisa Thompson, but it just ended up finding French hands. And Bourdon, in fact, it's going to be Hermé who will pick. And then Bourdon has got options to her left. It's where Ménager is waiting with Thomas outside her, but in fact, Léa Moury is down on the near touchline. Traoré. Scotland trying to identify the threats and where they're going to come from. Chloe Rowley, she'd love to counter-attack from this position. Attention was certainly coming at her from Ayaan Jasson, but Rowley's back to her feet to help secure the ball from the subsequent tackle. And again, it's Skeldon looking to go route one as only she knows how. Then back to the far side. Nelson's going to thread that one through and try and send France back towards their own try line, and that was nicely done. Nobody in that corner for France as Annick Hérault watches on. Just a few metres away. So the ball was touched on its way out, so Scotland, in fact, got the line out here. Got some more attention now for Megan Kennedy. Seemed to get an early scratch or a knock on that head. There was a little bit of blood on her head, wasn't there, early doors, and well, she's been taped up once. Started playing rugby around age 14, represented Scotland under-20s. Plays her rugby at Stirling University.
No, you're fine. That's right.
Apologising to referee Sarah Cox.
No, that's fine, that's fine. I'm going to nick a drink as well, that's all right. We've got another player down as well, so... Okay. Hang on! Hang on! Hang on! Wait! We've still got medics on and water as well.
We've actually got a battle of the brass bands here. We've got a band alongside our commentary position here.
Time on.
And there's another band up in the stands to the far side. In the meantime, there's some rugby to be played, and it falls into the hands of Kennedy, who was receiving treatment a moment ago. Scotland on the front foot, 5 metres out. And they want it through Coburn. Then they reload again. Bonner, good low angle from her. Need quick ball here from Law. They get it for Conkle. There's a penalty advantage as I think France stray offside. Conkle there again. NDA straight off the line.
Advantage is still there.
With Traoré, penalty advantage is still with Scotland. Koumba Diallo straying offside again. Nelson, Conkle looking to go route one, but she's stopped by the fearsome combination of Romain Ménager and Safi NDA. Stepping back in is Skeldon. Watsonian's hooker trying to find a way through, but now Scotland will come a little wider for Hannah Smith to try and use the footwork. She's got a lot closer than it looked like she was going to begin with. Conkle offering herself, bit of miscommunication. We're going to go back for the penalty.
Offside.
Promising from the visitors. They will feel like they've got to come away from this with something. Has Lisa Thompson gone on her own without the rest of her team knowing she was going to take that quickly? They're ready for it now. Conkle still driving through. Another pot awaits with Kennedy. A little too upright, perhaps, if you're going to try and take on Safi NDA at that sort of game. Then it's away again. Nelson, Smith, looking for it on the switch. Smith, it didn't quite work for her, but then it might just in the corner. Rona Lloyd for Scotland. Look at the celebrations as well. Brilliant from Smith, and Rona Lloyd with the score. Scotland's third of the championship, but a key point in the first half to half the deficit. Well, it was almost almost getting the lines wrong, really, weren't they? Hannah Smith was looking to try and cut on that ball back inside, but having just made that run, just done enough to bring the Scottish defence, the French defence in a little narrowly. Constantin, well, we saw in the first try how Annabelle Sargent came in to try and make the tackle, leaving the corner open. Well, France have repaid the favour. Skeldon will see that one go short. France 10, Scotland 5. Long way to go, but nearly half an hour played. I imagine Shade Munro might have allowed himself a slight little smirk or fist bump there. Lana Skeldon, the kicking hooker, featured in the Wales and Italy wins in 2017. Earning a 32nd cap this evening. Law, they might have numbers down this near side if they were to put it through the hands, Scotland, but keeping it simple whilst in their own half, probably sensibly. And Law's got some clearance to make. Elmay tries to work her way through. Kennedy was wise enough to stop her.
Back.
Murray, double tackle from Scotland. Rona Lloyd, full of beans, but now Lloyd's got a lot of marking to do here. Elmay stepping back inside, having received it from Marine Ménager. Bourdon, then to Roman. NDA, is she going to release it out the back? No, eventually she just pops it to her scrum half. Bourdon, who, well, dummied and slipped. Looking to try and side their way through the gap.
Tackle now, let go.
Tackle is there. I think
Just
France
got into
needed to
your own
release
player.
that.
Scrum.
Accidental offside, in fact, is going to be the call. France were scintillating against Wales, scoring 9 tries in round 1. Big things expected of the Le Crunch game as they took on England, but England was so clinical in that first half that it rattled France, and they did actually outscore England in the second half, but the game was done and dusted by that point.
Crouch.
Certainly a few of their players didn't look like themselves. The likes of Caroline Boujard,
Bind.
replaced by Constantin for this one. Boujard is on the bench.
You stood up, so she must come in. You guys must wait.
We wonder what the home side might do in terms of their mental strength if Scotland could continue to work their way into this game.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
France 8, give it another big shove. Scotland are going to have to try and use this. Referee goes penalty. It's rinse and repeat as far as the French scrum's concerned. Just cannot see why Scotland aren't using it quicker. Maybe they simply just can't get it out. France go to the far touchline. Just marching them back, aren't they? Didn't quite get the kick into the corner. We've got a few more meters to go from this, but Thomas goes.
Okay. You must call the numbers. They've changed, so they must be able to match you, okay? So you must call them loudly. Just show, okay?
So miscommunication about the numbers in the line out, and that's nearly gone over the top. It was well taken by Hermé. For a moment, like France might lose it, but they have got it, and now Bourdon is going to look at the short side again. She wrestles her way out of the tackle, then Couder into the middle to Vernier. Solid tackle on her from Helen Nelson. Couder. Boujard Back inside for Traore, coming from a little bit deeper. And off to the left, Forlani, stepping back out of the tackle from Rona Lloyd and staying upright. Well, it's Lisa Coburn who's in there to try and effect the tackle in the end. Couder has gone for the chip over the top. The chase is on from Vernier! Proving to be quite the first half for Gabrielle Vernier. Second try on home turf. France is third, and they lead by 15 points to 5. Earning just her 7th cap this evening, the 21-year-old. Good backing of the play as well from Couder. Just put the right amount on that. Difficult for it, bouncing near the post as well, defensively speaking. Beautifully taken from Vernier and finished. There's the support club. This one might be a little easier for Bourdon. Indeed it is. Bourdon with the first points from the boot. She has, of course, got a try already. £17 points to 5 now. From these restarts, Scotland have managed to force the French into a couple of errors on occasion. They're certainly not looking to put them up there in any sense to compete for them from the kick-off, but to try and get up in the faces of France. Léa Maury was the one who received it.
Sarah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Bourdon again, Hermé. Big swoosh of blonde hair on Gaëlle Hermé, French captain. Born in Clermont-Ferrand. Kick downfield, Chloe Rowley is chasing. Wants to try and take it quickly. Nothing doing.
Hang on, 2 seconds, please. Who's ball?
Not for him because it is touched by another person.
So no quick throw in, but whose line out is it? Yeah? So,
Now then, there seems to be a bit of confusion here.
Hang on. 2 seconds, okay.
Toshaj is saying that it's a French line
It's
out.
a blue line out. It didn't touch, it just went straight out. It's a blue line out. Hoddis, right, 2 seconds, we're just checking, okay? Hoddis, can you just check who last touched that, please? There's a lot of confusion.
Checking.
So I think we're getting Claire Hodnett involved here because
Hang on, time off.
the assistant referee down on the near side
Okay.
is claiming that it's a France line out.
It's a blue line out, yeah? Okay, it's a blue line out. All right, we've got to the bottom of it, it's a blue line out.
Well, good calm control from
Time back on.
Sarah Cox. Bit of unnecessary confusion from the assistant. Ball goes in. Scotland do get it right. Sarah Law gets it away for Nelson. Nelson through the middle now with Thompson. Thompson switches with Smith, who comes back nicely and makes a few extra yards. Safi Ndiaye is then cleared out and Scotland can reload again. That kick's coming down for Moury, just inside her 22. And she'll play back for Constanti. Outside the 22 they go now. Boujar, Diallo. Diallo takes some bringing down. Got back row options to burn France at the moment. It's a really healthy area of their game. Got the likes of Celine Ferrer as well. Bourdon looks to try and feed that far side. Caroline Thomas. Bourdon again. That ball's just gone forward. Scotland are looking to try and capitalise on it. Well taken by Rachel McLaughlin. Law is there late. Rowley perhaps should have gone to scrum half to get that service away a little quicker. And Conkle, well tackled by Traore. Law, Nelson, Thompson. They just stood a little bit still as the ball gets to them. Hannah Smith pirouettes in the tackle. Law gets the shout. It wasn't tidy. Scotland knock it on. I think they can go through and try and win it, but will be the French scrum.
Sarah, 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Time off. You okay? Yeah.
Might not have been as clear who was going to receive that. Emma Wassell just unable to hold on to it. Murrayfield Wanderers second row. Played over 20 consecutive tests alongside Deborah McCormack, who's on the bench for this one. Not part of the 2021 players, Wassell, but she is a supported player within the Scottish setup. NDA receiving some attention now.
Time on. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Loud blast on the whistle. France penalty.
Straight in.
Penalties against Lisa Coburn. Couder. Big wind-up on it, but just gets about 11 metres on the kit.
You need to show me a better body position.
France will be eyeing up, holding on to possession here and trying to secure the 4-try bonus point before half-time. Scotland have got to be wary of that penalty count, up to 7 so far. They go long to Diallo. Diallo pops it up for Bourdon. Bourdon dummies and goes through. Nicely done. Just scragged enough, but able to find Clara Joyeux. Joyeux pumping the legs and doing well. And then fending it off to Diallo. Bourdon. France looked to find Vernier again. Couldn't quite get the offload away to her centre partner, Marine Ménager. Couder. Constanti. Constanti going all the way. Under the posts for Constanti. And France will have the bonus point wrapped up before half-time. Dorian Constanti got herself on the scoreboard against Wales. She gets a second in the championship.
Sarah,
The
that's
Villeneuve
your
Dask
time,
Stadium gets to its feet. Lovely offloading through the contact. Solid run from Forlani, from Joyeux as well. And then Couder on to Constanti. The defence has just got to be better than that, you have to say. Not to take anything away from the running of Constanti. Started her rugby in 2015 with Racing Club Paris. Now plays with Stade Francais. The men's team, the last team to play in this stadium in terms of rugby in 2001. Bourdon to add the extras before the break, which she does. France then wrapping up 4 tries before half-time. A brace for Bourdon. France leading 24 points to 5 at the break, and they've wrapped up that bonus point.
joie et les larmes. La victoire est le coup de la revanche. La fierté. De la scène de la France. De l'effort. Du point du jour autour de l'émotion. C'est le coup. Te regarde. À ceux qui avec un autre te façonnent. Tu appartiens à tous ceux qui vivent pour toi.
Bind! Set! 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 Okay, okay.
magnifiques, ils sont extraordinaires. Les marins du parapolique qui sont à fond ce soir. Vous n'êtes pas connus des hôpitaux, allez, on vous garde, c'est juste là, l'ambiance va être maximum pour la deuxième. C'est parti ou presque, c'est reparti ou presque. Attention, dans quelques instants, le retour du joueur sur le terrain.
Yeah. Nev?
So second half ready to get underway then.
Yep.
You'll be pleased to know the brass band have continued throughout half-time entertaining the
Yes,
troops.
Sarah.
Excellent, thank you very much.
The tricolour are waving all around me. Scotland to get the second half underway then. Lisa Thompson goes a little bit shorter with that restart. Traoré places it back. Bourdon, Diallo, Bonner and Jade Conkle in with the double tackle. Bourdon goes again. Couder, another one of those little shallow crossfield kicks to try and find the French support on the outside, which they get. Did that go forwards from Ménager?
Oh, did you get forward first? Okay, forward. Just come to
Call from Joy Neville.
forward pass first.
But it did
and
go
then wait
forwards.
into touch, okay?
And France have made the change. Safi Ndiaye's evening's work is done, so Celine Ferrer is onto the field. Ferrer, who started the previous two matches, earning her 31st cap this evening, the Bayonne second row.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Conkle breaks from the back. Good smuggle of the ball on the supporting run, then Law gets it away again. Scotland come through Wassell. Law, Conkle, found a nice gap to go through, gets Scotland up to the 22. Law off to the right again. Better continuity from Scotland. Smith makes the final pass to Chloe Rowley. Bonner has Wassell for company again. Scotland are making meters with every bit of possession during this attack. And it's not the easiest bobbling ball for Lana Skeldon to deal with, but deal with it she does. And then Nelson. Pressure was coming on. They've gone for the little kick wide, but it might just invite Constantin to have a run from inside her own 22. Good scrag on the tackle from Hannah Smith. Made her debut against France all of 6 years ago, Smith. Bourdon, Couder was just looking outside, wondering why nobody else was there. Bourdon decides to go back down that channel again, sensing if they could invite the defender on the touchline infield, they might leave someone out there. Rachel McLaughlin gets up and just clutches the shoulder, but doesn't shirk the responsibilities of getting straight back into the defensive line. Scotland under all sorts of pressure here. And it looks like they might have lost this. Bourdon. Away from Elmé. And then Marine Ménager. Nice gliding run on the outside for Constantin. Constantin almost a no-look pass to send Murray away on that left wing. Scotland recover well enough, but they're just outside their 22 now. Shorter ball for Traoré. Bourdon. Couder flings a little deeper. Marine Ménager. It's a good tackle from Helen Nelson. Recognise it enough, but they might still have numbers here. Couder. Well, Bourdon is able to feed Constantin.
But they were just a little bit on top of each other. Smiles from NDA. I think actually the change may be Lene Cosson, who came on. The French team sheet has switched the numbers round from what we were told early doors. So I'm just trying to see from our position here. And I think it is. 19 is Lene Cosson, who has come on. Impressive runner with the ball in the loose, Cosson, when she gets to it. But this is decent from Scotland, taking a fair few metres and earning the penalty out of France as well. That was not decent service from Law.
3, straight to the floor.
So we'll come back as Clara Joyeux is the one penalised. Players have these profiles on the websites these days, of course, and Clara Joyeux speaks of rugby, saying it's not the brutal sport that everyone says it is, but it's an amazing adventure. How lovely is that? So it's Jonah Lomu was a hero, earning her 5th cap tonight. But she's given away the penalty there that will see Scotland up to the halfway line. Just 3 in the line out. Oh, but that was really well read. Fabulous from Forlani. Came straight through. Cosson couldn't pick it up. Ménager. Roman popping up where her sister lurks in the midfield, but it might find Marine here. No, it's coming back inside for Diallo on the 10-metre line. Continue to go down the short side. Hermé, then they find Constanti, who was looking to try and feed it away to Léa Moury, but couldn't quite tell if her winger was there, could she? So France will reload again. Bourdon. Constant question around the side of the ruck, but that ball wasn't held. And McLaughlin, physical in the challenge, with or without the ball. Conkle is on the run around, sensing there might be a bit of room this side if they could get quick ball. They need Law to get there. Now it does find Conkle, who looks to try and run inside and find a weaker shoulder. France look to ruck through. Not allowed to take the scrum half away. There's nothing doing from Sarah Cox in terms of penalising it. Now they go deep. Nelson. That's just going straight down the throat of Constanti, scorer of that 4th try that's earned France the bonus point up to the 10-metre line. Turnover has been brilliantly made for Scotland. Super work from Rona Lloyd. Wassell gets it away. Everybody stood still at the minute for Scotland, though. Passing the ball and just losing ground. Need players running onto it. Law goes herself. Scotland through Kennedy. Law looks off to the right. Helen Nelson. Line speed from the French is good. Not allowing Scotland any progress whatsoever, and now they are rucking through.
Good run, turnover is good!
And the turnover's been affected. Referee is saying it's absolutely fine. Scotland will now try and counter-ruck, and now they've been penalised for coming in at the side.
8 and 4, entry.
It's just the hunger from France not to allow the status quo to exist. Might look like it's going to be your ball, but we're going to come back and steal it. Look at that from Ménager. And she had Diallo behind her and Caroline Thomas. What a trio. And all of a sudden, there was not a lot French could do. That was the turnover. Incredibly well done from Rona Lloyd. But now France, 1 out of their lineouts. They will just about win the 9th. Wasn't the tidiest. Joyeux places it back. France pick and go. But Forlani's lost that forwards. And Scotland will have the scrum.
Knock on.
A few moments of, well, skillless play, shall we call it. France have certainly had a few moments where they've got into their stride and broken through well. Can't take anything away from the fact that they are 4 tries to the good, but not looking quite as clinical as they were in round 1 against Wales. Difficult to put your finger on why. Have to hand it to Scotland, of course.
Yeah.
But I think the changes are going to start to come. France have Lise Aricast and Celine Ferrer waiting to make their entrance. Number may be up for Diallo, possibly, you would imagine. Lise Aricast will no doubt relieve Traoré.
But taking people too far beyond the ruck. Okay. On the clear out, yeah?
You can hear Sarah Cox there having a word with French side.
All right.
Coming through at ruck time and just taking players out beyond the ball, so be an area that she's obviously watching. Change also looking to be made by Scotland is Jenny Maxwell ready to come on. I wonder if Shade Monroe is just wanting a bit of quicker service now that Sarah Law has played 50 minutes of this game. But Scotland going backwards, they've done their best to try and use it and hold on to possession, but they've knocked it on.
One was back, then the second one was knock on.
And France will see this as a very clear scoring opportunity.
9.
There's Jenny Maxwell. And Sarah Law is making way. Edinburgh University scrum half replaced by Loughborough Lightning scrum half. Used to being a replacement, Jenny Maxwell. This the 17th time in 22 appearances for Scotland that Maxwell has made her impact from the bench, but she's going to get a decent run at it. Decent pace on her, Maxwell, but she's going to also get the nuggety play as long as Pauline Bourdon stays on the field. Bourdon has a little look over her left shoulder as Romain Ménager, sorry, keeps it controlled at the base. Now she feeds her scrum half, and Murray is off her wing and spills it forwards. Scotland will have the scrum. It's just a few of those handling errors that are a little more uncharacteristic of Les Bleus.
Yep. So 1
Good double hit from Scotland.
7. 1
Lisa Thompson
7.
providing the physicality in midfield. Formerly of this parish, studying at the University of Edinburgh now, Thompson. Well, there are those 2 changes, and well, indeed, it is Diallo and Traoré who leave the field. And Celine Ferrer and Lise Aricast will come into the fray.
Turn back on.
Marine Ménager at the bottom of your picture. Roman in the squat position, ready to apply her force. Now Jenny Maxwell will have watched from the sidelines as to what happens in these scrums. She'll want to get it away quickly. Problem is maybe whether the ball gets hooked back, but it does, and Maxwell has tidying up work to do. But Scotland do have possession here. Popped away from Nelson, which frees up Maxwell. Maxwell for Skeldon. Scotland not backing the boot just yet, right on their own line. It's risky play. France will look to try and seize any opportunity to force the turnover. Then it's back from Maxwell. It's touched on its way out from France, so Scotland will in fact get the line out.
Yeah, touched by White.
They'll take that.
Your ball, yeah. Touched.
Maxwell fired it back pretty fiercely at Nelson in the end. Did well to handle it. Scotland move to try and find Bonner, but it goes over the top, but it's not straight into the hands of Megan Kennedy. They put Megan Kennedy in a scrum cap for the second half, you may have noticed.
Hang on. Sorry, it's a bit late on the call. It's a substitution for you guys. So that number again was a number 5.
Momentary pause, in fact, just as we were about to have that scrum. We are going to have a change. Coming onto the field is Jodie Retty. I think she's replacing Nicola Howard. Retty from Saracens onto the field. Nicola Howard, cap number 5 complete. Bourdon has a little look over the top. Vernier and Ménager are waiting in the middle. Murray is off her wing. Couder is going to chip it through. There's only French shirts waiting. Is it going to be Vernier's hat-trick? Yes, it is! What a night for the 21-year-old. Growing up, she started playing when she was the only girl in the team and the youngest at that. It's one way to toughen you up, isn't it? 3 tries tonight, and the fan club will have plenty to celebrate. They were poised and ready to pounce. And Emma Couder has shown some deft touches with the boot tonight. Over the top or underneath. Either way, it's resulting in the same outcome as far as France are concerned. Now a chance for Pauline Bourdon to take them over the 30-point mark. Job done. Just delicately placed. Vernier would not take her eyes off it. Great score from France. Thompson with the restart. Maxwell goes a little bit too high. And then potentially Retty doing the same.
Tackles high.
Referee decides to give the penalty in the end.
Just bring the tackles down, okay?
Kick might not make touch here. France have put in a decent chase them and won it back through Ménager. Brilliantly done. And then Céline Ferrer helping her out. This is the area where France can be dangerous. There's another little kick over to that left-hand side, finding Léa Murray. Murray looking to come in off the left wing. Rona Lloyd doing all she could to slow her down. Eventually it's enough. Elmé asks a few more questions, but then Scotland looking to get in a position to force the turnover, and they will get the penalty. Very nicely done from Emma Wassell. Isolated the French captain. I was just going to say, that first score of the second half, just settling France, making them feel like the rest of this game might be going all their way. Good intervention from Scotland to suggest to them that it's certainly not. Emma Wassell in particular.
Oh,
So another local face, which will certainly be a popular change, a chance to celebrate the efforts of Pauline Baudon. She's had a solid game by her standards. Got the second try of the match, of course. But Yana Rivoallon, multi-talented sportswoman, played a bit of basketball, judo and tennis. And she plays at Lille Metropole as well. Also change, Dorian Constantin comes off as Forlani. Built up ahead of steam, Forlani careering into the 22, looking to try and get the ball away. France will come with quick service again. Couder had her channel shut down by Helen Nelson. It's Boujard who's on for Constantin, if we didn't quite finish that little bit of business. Vernier places it back. Marine Ménager. Oh, she's thrown it on the floor. Scotland have turnover ball. Maxwell. The last couple of times they've had this sort of possession, we have ended up stopping for the scrum anyway, because the French have kept Scotland going backwards, even with ball in hand. But advantage is now over as Nelson puts that down the centre of the park, and Boujard's first touch of the ball is to get going and play it away for Vernier, and then Léa Marie, who's got the corner at her mercy. Back inside for Boujard, and what a try for France! Boujard starting it and finishing it. Little out of sorts against England, perhaps, but that was back to her best. What an impact! France's sixth try. Well, the danger of what was effectively a relatively aimless kick. Boujard sizing up the chance, and it dragged two Scottish defenders in. Murray might have thought she was going to get there, had the presence of mind to play the ball back in field. Balanced runner, Boujard. Look, she had her eyes on the corner, but then played the ball away. Murray transferring it to the outside arm for the inside fend, and then able to play it back. And it's duly celebrated by Baudon from the sidelines. Couder will take up the kicking duties in the absence of the scrum half. Not an easy one out from that far side. Won't have the legs. Well, that was France on song. And Laure Thuillier is waiting as well now to come on for France. Fully expect the bench to be emptied. We've had quite a few. Ménager into Konkel. Harry Cass. Really abrasive runner for France, but Scotland have won it back. Maxwell looks off to the right. Good check on the footwork from Emma Wassell, who's been one of Scotland's brightest lights. It's just been knocked on the floor, though, when it's not your night. So Argagnon and Laure Thuillier are looking to make their impact. And I think we've also got Abby Evans coming on for Scotland very shortly. Annabelle Sargent makes way for Evans. And Thuillier replaces Caroline Thomas. And one last change. There is Argagnon coming on for Clara Joyeux. Put herself about a bit as well. Fifth cap, enjoying the physicality of the oval ball game. Abby Evans. She's certainly got the face on for a night out in Lille, hasn't she? looking good for the occasion. Made a debut against France in 2015 in the tournament opener. There's a big shove from France. Romain Ménager is doing her best to hold on to that at the back. Couder played the little shorter ball then for her sister Marine. Rivo-Allant then to Roman, swatting away the defenders. Wassels come in offside, taking a player off the ball. She knew it. She tried to back out of it, make herself invisible.
Offside, it wasn't you.
Emma Couder, Six Nations debut for her. The ASM Romagna fly half. She was a member of 4 different sports clubs as a kid. Brought up by a rugbyman father. Just 19 years of age. She's part of the Sevens programme, available now to the 15s. That's what Romain Ménager can do. Then Elme, or Corson, I should say. And then on the outside, they're continuing to go. Céline Ferrer gets them 4 metres out. Recycled for Rivo-Allant to play back in field. Door shut, first of all, on Thuyer. Now they go out. Ménager again. Then they've got another pod waiting to the right. But Scotland have forced the turnover there. Solid work from Jodie Retty. And look at that, absolutely pumped. Joined Saracens from Thurrock. And Lisa Thompson to relieve a bit of the pressure.
Tom off. One. Oh, okay.
Good recognition of the moment to strike. But look at this from Romain Ménager.
2 seconds. If you want her
So strong
early,
in the leg
you
drive.
give them numbers early too, okay? Time on.
Skeldon, as Lisa Coburn takes leave. Mary Forsyth is onto the field. Scotland have a little catch and drive. And that's worked nicely to get them out of their 22, still taking another metre or two. Maxwell wants it to play. Maxwell's gone, well, down the short side of the ruck herself. Decent carry from Forsyth, earning her 5th cap, made her debut off the bench last year against Canada. Then they go again. France required to put the tackles in, and it's Laure Thuyer who is required to do that. Now Scotland go with a bit of boot to ball. Léa Moury struggles to hold on to it first time, so does Boujard. The ball's going to beat everybody into touch. Good hustle from Scotland. Marie couldn't gather it. Pass to Boujard wasn't the strongest. Love to have seen what would have happened if that ball had stayed in and Hannah Smith had a chance to get on top of it. Elme comfortably taken in the line. Scotland get a good counter shove on here. But France are going to look to try and come around the corner of where that shove was. It's really nicely driven. Rivo-Allant back inside. Couder. Was Boujard behind that? Ariane Jasson was. Didn't see too much of Jasson so far. France quick to recycle. Interplay between backs and forwards, but they've done well to drag Gaëlle Hermé into touch, the Toulouse flanker and French skipper. Just 22 years of age, Gaëlle Hermé. Studying psychology. news coming from earlier on, of course, when this game started, Italy taking on Ireland, and Italy have managed to get themselves a memorable win against Ireland. Maxwell. Gonna need support there. Maxwell's presenting it. Then it's away. Nelson for Conkle. Maxwell needs to get in there and whip this one away before the French line can get reset. Kennedy. That's quicker service. Nelson. Thompson. Boot to ball. Flying up on the outside. Rona Lloyd putting all sorts of pressure on Boujard, and that's worked out nicely, and you can see how satisfied they are with that.
Yeah. It's a knock-on into touch.
Pace of Lloyd on that outside channel. Look at this.
You want line out? Yeah.
Absolutely herring down.
You've chosen line out. Go.
Nearly had a chance to play and get possession on that as well, Scotland. Instead, it's forced the error from Boujard. Knock on or line out all happen next to each other, so Scotland go with the line. Skeldon's taking her time over this one, but they get it in for Emma Wassell. Forlani is coming right through the middle of that to try and upset it. You can see with that blue top scrum cap, but Maxwell is going to play it away. Abby Evans is lurking right down on this far side. Wassell, has she got herself isolated there? Clear out is good from Scotland. Nelson again. Smith. Chloe Rowley. Double tackle from France. Ayane Jasson's gone in to try and nick it. Maxwell's gone, but France were offside. Ayane Jasson, the player spotted by the referee. Now, will Scotland back their catch and drive and their mauling ability and stick this one into the corner? It looks like Lisa Thompson is going to do just that. Are we going to have a second Scotland try? 14 minutes remaining of the match. Harry Cast in there.
I've given them the line, okay, so just set off that a little bit.
Wassell, one of the key options in the middle. Bonner as well. The French will look to try and spoil this as best they can. They just go for the quick tap down. Chance to recycle. Kennedy. Stop that short. They go short side again. Is it going to be on for Emma Wassell? Looks like it might be. Try for Scotland. They're second in France. Well worked. And no one more deserving, given the effort she's put in over the 66 minutes we've had so far. Emma Wassell gets the score. Scotland second.
Le score après cet essai 236, Écosse 10.
Would you mind? Thank you very much. Thank you. Magic, thank you.
Initially short, but plenty of momentum to take her over. Rivo Allant and Ayane Jasson unable to do enough. So again, another very tricky conversion for Lana Skeldon. Got a better connection on that one, but it will still just stop a little short. All down to the supporter Rachel McLaughlin here, really. Providing the grunt to get a teammate over the line. Solid work from the visitors. Obviously a fair few places between the two sides in the world rankings. So any opportunities to score against a side that beat the Black Ferns in November is to be celebrated, and it's good to see Scotland doing that. That is not a restart
Scrum.
that replacement Camille Imar will want to see again. Couder has been replaced. Imar doing exactly what Couder did at the start of the game, of course.
Crouch.
Maybe it's a thing.
Bind. Set.
So with the changes being made, how is it affecting the scrum?
You must not step backwards. You must wait until the ball comes in. Okay?
Scotland have certainly not shrugged away from the physical challenge of the rolling maul. Been happy enough to take France on in that area. Just wonder with those changes whether they're feeling
Crouch.
that they're getting any more parity at scrum time.
Bind. Set.
Maxwell's done a little better a couple of times to get the ball away quickly, and again it comes pinging back on her side, and she'll use it. Gets it away to Chloe Rowley. Her running threat will be well known here to her Lille teammates, of course. Nelson had to stretch to get down and get that one. There for Maxwell again. Nelson, then a little deeper, Thompson. It's not the most effective kick.
Sorry.
Abby Evans, Hillhead, Jordan Hill player. (22 years of age). There's the band. Just proof that they exist, in case you weren't convinced by the racket they've been making for the whole game.
You asked for numbers early. You must give the same, okay? No changing. You're in or out. Okay, stay.
So Sarah Cox is having to try and lay down the law here because, well, as you hear, France were questioning the numbers early on, and now they're playing games themselves about how many numbers they're putting into the line-out without telling Scotland. So quite right from the referee to raise it as Vernier comes around the outside hole. Brilliant strength. Just so small and powerful. Cross-field kick option. Is that going to work out for Ferrer, who was loitering? Comes short side again. Elmay to Ferrer. Elmay went on the run around. Sarah Cox has nearly been tripped over. There was a knock-on. Scotland will have the scrum. Little look there for Sarah Cox. I think while she was stumbling around, she needed the assistance of Joy Neville on the near side to make that call, which she got. A rousing Marseillaise then. Last 10 minutes of the game. Deborah McCormack has just come to the sidelines out of your picture to be introduced. France get a good shove on again. Maxwell will get it away though. Not the tidiest. Nelson decided to come back from where it had come. Maxwell has Conkle looking for it. Romain Ménager brings down her opposite number. Skeldon wants to be the receiver, but they're going to go deeper out the back to Nelson. But Nelson's kick is straight down the throat of Caroline Boujard, who plays it back for Ayaan Jasson. Jasson will take the tackle, ride it for a few metres. Rouveau-Allan, France might have width here if they can get it out. Good awareness from Vernier. Marine Ménager, and then on to Moury. Good cover tackling eventually from Lloyd. Rouveau-Allan, short ball again to Vernier. Don't tell her she's going to get 4. Lovely movement and play back in from Imard onto Ari Cast. France trying to bust their way round the corner of the fringes. Imal once again, then goes for the kick. Ayaan Jason on the far side. Oh, she plucks it out of the air beautifully. Stunning finish from Ayaan Jason. The vision from Imal, just to have a little look. And Ayaan Jason dots down in the corner. Corson with the little break around the corner. And then Imal looking over the top. Such a good take from Jason out of the air. Look at that. Just a couple of meters to scamper. Imal's conversion
Sarah,
will not make it.
Over 5
Conversion
minutes.
attempt, I should
Just
say.
over 5 minutes.
5 minutes remaining.
No worries. Just send them on. Send them on.
And the replacements
3, 7, 8,
are 4 strong
12.
for Scotland. McCormick comes on for
3, 7, 8 as well. Yeah, I think so.
Conkle. Oh, there's a spread of changes here because we've got the likes of Katie Duggan coming onto the field as well. Lisa Martin, former skipper. And Lucy Winter as well. Lucy Winter getting her first taste of Six Nations action. Lisa Martin straight onto the ball. 47th cap for Martin.
Stand back on.
Began the captaincy against England in the Six Nations a couple of years ago. Another one who plays on this territory, her and Chloe Rowley, speaking this week about, well, the unique experience it will be to be playing an away match at home, effectively, given that they both play for Lille. So Martin relishing the chance to contribute for the last 5 minutes on home turf. Away from Riveau-Allan. France leading 41 points to 10. Vernier.
Inside.
Kick over the top was nicely taken from Rowley. She decides to have another little chip through herself. Doesn't make the follow-up tackle, though. And a little sell of the dummy back inside Imal, and then it was bumped on from one Ménager to the other, Romain to Marine. And penalty France, not rolling away. Riveau-Allan will go quickly and look to go straight into the heart, pops it out the back. Nicely done for Ari Cast. Imal. But now it's penalty Scotland time.
Number 13. Tackle beyond the ruck.
So it's the warning that we heard earlier. It's against Marine Ménager, tackling players beyond the ruck. Maxwell puts the boot through it.
Beyond.
Can Scotland have one last hurrah in the last 3 minutes?
Go. Tom off.
Maybe Jodie Retty, who's just taken a knee, needing a bit of attention. There's the tackle, just out of your picture. Taking a player out of the frame as we look at it. And the Lille band plays on at the Stadium Metropole
Well, there was something funky in there once. So.
here in Villeneuve-d'Ascq.
Yeah, yeah.
7 tries for France. A hat-trick for Vernier. Baudon, Constantin Boujard and Ayan Jasson. 8,819 in attendance
Nev, we've still got time off, right?
this evening.
Ladies, no, wait. She's still down.
It's a very decent crowd. A few empty seats around. Perhaps a question or two as to how
They were just setting the line out without you, that's all.
fiercely the French team would be supported in these parts, which wouldn't be
All right.
necessarily traditional rugby country. But they have come out in force once again.
Go, time on.
It is by far the best country in terms of support for the women's game. Honour and privilege to be here covering it. And here is Skeldon. McCormack an option at the front, but they go to the back. Maxwell decided not to give the pass. Elmay right in her face. Skeldon will play scrum half. Gets it away to the replacement, Lisa Martin. Helen Nelson has just shifted into that inside centre position now, and then Hannah Smith, who steps out of the tackle. Smith still going. Doesn't look the biggest, but has enough awareness to find the gaps. Maxwell buffeted off the ball, having given it to Skeldon, but she'll get back on it. Martin had to be wary of the advancing Vernier. Got knocked on by both sides. The crowd don't like the fact that they've got to come back. They're obviously not happy with Vernier having just 3 tries. They wanted to have 4.
Is there anything I need to look at?
No, Sarah.
Okay. Hey,
Less
listen, you
than
first,
2
then
minutes to
them.
go. Less than 2 minutes.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Rivoalin gets it in. Maxwell is told to watch her onside line. And it's away from Imar, plays it out for Vernier. Vernier ships it on for Murray. Murray looking to try and get the run on the outside of Rona Lloyd, and just about manages to initially, but Lloyd stays with her long enough to bring her down. Hannah Smith has rescued that through the tackle, but France are going to get the penalty. Oh, they're a yard in front of the mark as well.
Playing the ball on the floor.
Well, playing the ball on the floor was the call. Second time of asking. Did well to bring her down. Oh, it's probably the right call against Hannah Smith. Looked like as they were getting to ground, the rip was affected, but I guess the player in possession is releasing the ball on the floor. The other player on the floor can't suddenly start to play it. Annick Hérault watches on. Forlani with the leap. Scotland trying to spoil Elmay. Well, Cosson.
Sarah, your time.
Cosson looks to try and carry it.
Yeah, I had the line out before time, yeah? It's the Scotland line out.
Scotland will have the
Came
line.
off the white hand, Scotland line out, yeah? Is that right? Yeah?
I think the assistant on the far side is a little worried to argue with the decision from Sarah Cox after the issue in the first half. So this will be the last act of the match, barring a penalty, of course. Bonner brings it down for Scotland. Maxwell gets it away. Martin will clear it. Well, the final whistle is blown in Lille. France get back to winning ways after the disappointment in round 2 of losing to England. They score 7 tries in the process, securing the bonus point. Scotland celebrating the 2 tries that they were able to score, but ultimately coming up against a tougher opposition that needed to make a statement at home that they could come out and fight once more. A hat-trick of tries for Lille's own Gabby Vernier. Bourdon, Constantin, Boujard and Jasson also on the score sheet. Lloyd and Russell as well. It's finished in France in round 3. France 41, Scotland 10. Teammates having a little cuddle there, as you can see, Chloe Rowley and Gabby Vernier. What a night it was for the French inside centre. Seven tries, a solid performance from France. They will feel that there's plenty for them to work on. It wasn't entirely seamless or clinical, but certainly more experience and more caps handed out across the side. And Annick Hérault will be delighted to get another win on the board. France victorious at home. Their second win of the 2019 Six Nations.
De remontrer notre jeu, de mettre en place notre jeu, de retrouver notre ADN, de retrouver notre identité sur le terrain. Et je pense que ce soir, on a montré que l'équipe de France pouvait rebondir sur un échec et que cet échec nous a fait grandir aujourd'hui.
Et pour quel nouvel objectif dans ce tournoi?
Terminer de la plus belle des façons. Il nous reste 2 matchs, prochain déplacement en Irlande, on sait que ça va être compliqué. Donc c'est continuer sur ça, continuer à produire du beau jeu et surtout à prendre beaucoup de plaisir.
Merci Gaëlle, merci.
En Angleterre, on voulait un peu se rattraper sur ce match-là. Après, tout n'était pas propre non plus, il y a encore du travail, mais ça nous fait plaisir de jouer comme ça, et surtout ici, moi, c'est chez moi, et donc je suis très heureuse d'avoir fait un match comme ça.
Avec quel plaisir pour la suite du tournoi? Quel est l'objectif maintenant?
Prendre toujours autant de plaisir et après améliorer les quelques petits points pour continuer à progresser. On a un groupe qui est très jeune, on commence à se connaître et à évoluer bien ensemble, donc le but c'est de continuer comme ça.
Merci Romane.
C'est juste un bonheur de jouer ici, c'est trop bien, il y a tout le monde, l'ambiance, c'est la folie. À Lille, franchement, c'est phénoménal.
Jean Abeyou disait pendant la retransmission que c'était planifié, que c'était votre match, ce triplé, vous aviez prévu qu'on vous mette en avant.
Ah non, non, pas du tout, non. Non, moi j'ai juste joué, je suis juste trop contente de vivre cette aventure et en plus que ça se passe ici, c'est que du bonus et pouvoir marquer des essais avec l'équipe, c'est chouette, c'est formidable.
C'était important de repartir sur une nouvelle impulsion.
Oui, absolument, on voulait vraiment se corriger par rapport à la semaine dernière et on a réussi, on a mis la manière avec le score, donc franchement, là on va fêter cette victoire qui est vraiment l'œuvre du travail qu'on a fait toute cette semaine.
Merci Gabrielle, merci. Félicitations.
Shane and I guess Lisa.